There are reports
What's
that
up?
Arkansas coach Eric Musselman is interested in the Louisville job. Not only interested, but quote, he wants it. Are the Razorbacks about to lose their coach to the University of Louisville?
I'm gonna say yes. I'm gonna say
They might.
yes because the thing
They might.
is, Louisville. Obviously, Arkansas is struggling this year. He's been there for a minute. The SEC is tough, and Louisville's one of the best jobs in America.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right. And you know what else? Louisville's a real city, and Fayetteville's not.
it's a college
And
town, right?
yeah, so it is unsurprising to me that Muss would want this job. In fact, if I'm being honest, I'd heard 2 months ago that he wanted this job. And you never know if that plays a role in why the Arkansas season just went sideways. You know, Providence last year was like maybe headed to the NCAA tournament. You know, they were having a pretty good season, and then it became pretty clear Ed Cooley was going to be the next head coach at Georgetown, and their season went the wrong direction. Now, whether those things were connected or not, I don't know, and I'm not sure there's a way to even prove that. But I can tell you, Providence fans thought that there was something to it. Oh, this guy had one foot out the door and it derailed our season. You wonder if there's some Arkansas fans who don't think the same thing. In fact, I'm certain there are Arkansas fans who think the same thing. What about this, Bennett? Can Louisville really hire a guy who's having the type of season that Eric Musselman is having this season? Because you don't typically, this is not normal, you don't typically see coaches who are 16-16 overall, 6-12 in their league, getting a top 10 job in America. That's usually reserved for coaches who just had good seasons, not bad ones. How do you balance? Eric Musselman has been amazing, first at Nevada, then at Arkansas, but he's been pretty not great this season. How do you balance those things, Bennett, if you're Louisville?
I think the way you do it is you tell yourself, what is he really great at? And it is turning around programs quickly. Like that dude it seems like Muss has almost immediate success wherever he goes. And if that's what you want at Louisville, if you want to be right back in it next season, I think it makes a lot of sense.
I would hire him.
Yeah.
I would hire him. I mean, I would look at Dusty May and see if he's interested. I've talked to a number of people. I would see if Nate Oates just wanted to get out of Alabama for some reason. He's got a big buyout, but if you're Louisville, you can't get this wrong. Mm-hmm. So like it is much more costly to get this wrong than it is to overpay to get it right. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Like sometimes people look at this stuff and they go, well, the buyout's $12 million and then you got to pay him $6 million a year. And my God, that's a lot of money. That's really expensive. True. You know what's more expensive? Missing on this hire. It is much more important to get this hire right, even if you overpay for it, than anything else. Because if you get it wrong, it's going to cost everybody their job. Everybody gets fired if this hire goes wrong. Mm-hmm. If the AD gets this wrong, the AD is the next one to go. So what would you rather do? Overpay for something that feels like a sure thing, or say, I can't pay that much money, we'll just go this other direction, and then you look up in the other direction is just a disaster. I think this is true in most places in life. I promise you it is true when it comes to hiring a big-time college basketball coach or college football coach. You will not regret overpaying if it goes well. You'll never, ever, 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 ever look up and go, this is really going well, but I still felt like maybe I overpaid for it. You'll never say that. You'll be like, this is going well, and thank God I did this. You will regret not overpaying for something if then the thing you pay for doesn't work out. You'll regret that. You'll say, yes. God, I should have just paid the money for Nate Oates. I should have just paid the money for Dusty May. I should have just paid the money for whatever. If I'm Louisville, this is my point. I would not let money dictate my decision-making right now. If I was certain Nate Oates was the guy and I was certain Nate Oates wanted my job, I would make the money part of it work. I wouldn't let the money be the thing that stands in between that happening if it's the thing I want to happen and it's the thing I know could happen. But we'll see. Let's say you can't get a Nate Oates because for whatever reason. And Dusty May ends up at Ohio State. And you really are, if you're Louisville, picking through a different cast of candidates other than the guys that everybody might agree would be phenomenal hires under these set of circumstances. I really don't think I'd be too bothered by this season at Arkansas. I would look at the big picture with Muss, and I'd say, okay, what's a better representation of this guy as a leader of a big-time basketball program? This season that has gone poorly, or basically every other season that exists on record? And I would just say, okay, I'm hiring a guy coming off of a bad year, but would I have hired him 5 months ago? If you would have told me 5 months ago Eric Musselman is going to be the next head coach at Louisville, would Louisville fans have been thrilled with that? I think yes. I think they absolutely would have. All right, so then let's just forget about the last 5 months and let's go make him our next head coach. Yeah. Like there's a couple of guys right now who fit that description. They've had terrible seasons that make you wonder if you should really hire them in this moment. But if you can forget about this season, you would have killed to hire them 5 months ago. Eric Musselman at Arkansas and Mick Cronin at UCLA. Both are obvious candidates at a place like Louisville. Both have had amazing careers. Both have had bad seasons this season, but they're both guys that if you would have told Louisville 5 months ago, this is your next head coach, Louisville fans would have been happy. So I think I'm willing to erase the past 5 months and just hire the guy I know I would have killed for 5 months ago. If you can get Nate Oates and you want him, go get him. If you want Dusty May and you can get him, do that. But I would not, this is where I'd bottom line it, let this season at Arkansas prevent me from hiring Eric Musselman. And I would not let this season at UCLA prevent me from hiring Mick Cronin. If I thought those guys were the best guys for the job, I wouldn't let the fact that this Arkansas team is 6-12 in the SEC, I wouldn't let that move me off of it too much. I'd still go hire Eric Musselman. I'd still go hire Mick Cronin. And I think you can sell it to your fans. I'd rather hire a guy who has looked like a sure thing for multiple years and then had a bad season rather than hire a guy who maybe is the hot thing in the world right now, but only had one good season. Eric Musselman's going to be a great college basketball coach again. Mick Cronin as well. If Louisville ends up with either one of them, I think it'll certainly be an improvement with where that program's been.
The Gary Parrish Show, live weekdays at 10 a.m.